sucks. That sucks a lot. Yeah, I had like 10,000 in student loans that I just used the most of it to wipe out. Three, two, one, go. Um, you're in Europe, right? Pretty sure you're in Europe. And it might be different in Europe. Because Earthbound is basically the most expensive SNES cart that I'm aware of. I might be wrong. And maybe you're comparing that to some N64 cards, which is why I'm asking. Like, what kind of N64 cards are super expensive? Because my N64 collection is probably the smallest of, well, it's not the smallest, but of the mainline consoles that I have, it's on the lower end. Like my Odyssey 2 collection is probably less than my N64 collection, but who cares about the Odyssey 2? My Master System collection is less than my N64 collection, but who cares about the Master System? You only collect the US, although you're in the UK. Okay. Do you have like I don't actually know how that works, never mind. I modded my SNES to play Japanese games. Um I don't actually know if a US game will fit in a UK SNES. Fancy that. How was that Cannon Betrayer so good? 22.2? Is that really that bad in every other? Oh, because I did that first. That fighter group. That's why. Yeah, I cut out the tabs on my SNES to play Japanese games. Is that what you have to do to for UK games as well, or for PAL games? I guess I should say. No, because it's PAL. Do you have a Blitter or do you have a US SNES? This is way more complicated than I actually think it is. Oh no. Hey, it worked. Ah, okay. On an SFC. All right. Yeah, yeah. I just cut out the tabs of my SNES to play Japanese games. Neat. What did you have to do to mod that? Because I know, like, modding a US SNES to play SFC games is just cutting out the tabs. You know, that's what I did. But what do you have to do? Ah, pass through. Okay. You made it? Like, you custom built that yourself? Because that's hardcore awesome, if true. Yeah, Crawler is the worst boss. You are absolutely correct. I probably would have saved time by transforming and using the Type B blasters on him. But, oh well. I'm still way ahead though. That's weird. That was bad. That was real bad. Right. That was a play on the something awful. Sorry, I spent a lot of time on something awful. That's where the essay in my name came from. My first experience with Let's Plays before speed running was on something awful. And one of the catchphrases currently on something awful is "fucked up if true," and that is where I took that from. And in fact, when I first started running this game, when Leon Piper was really the only competition, and I did that shitty thing of taking his strat and making a video with it before he did. With dang it, missed him. He saw that I was from something awful and was like, "Hey, he's just being a dick because that's what people from something awful do and whatever." And like, no, something awful isn't really that way anymore. I just want to play the game. The CIC chip. See, man, I don't even know what that is. Is that to play PAL stuff on an SFC? Man, I'm learning all sorts of things today. Also, I just realized that, of course, all of my splits are really good because I'm New Game Plus and I start with Twin Blasters. The region chip that talks to the. Okay. So there's no real difference between. I'm phrasing this badly. PAL and NTSC. I assume you would need some type of power converter, but it's a region lockout chip as opposed to something else. Okay, huh? Wasn't even aware there was a region lockout chip. Granted, I don't have any UK games. I think the only one I would get would be Terranigma or PAL games, I guess I should say, as opposed to UK. So returning to my original theme or point or whatever, like X2, for example, in the US is I think around $100, but in Japan it's like $10. And in fact, granted, I was in Japan probably 9 years ago now. I studied there for a year and a half, and I had just bought Chrono Trigger for $70 in the United States, and then in my first week in Japan, I found it for $5, and I was so mad. Kind of like Mirage Dragon is making me right now. Oh, that's neat. Console works on DC, so you just use the UK adapter? Wow. I didn't know that. That was an awful Mirage Dragon. So it's going to be a little bit to the left. Yep. There we go. Why is JP Chrono unplayable? Because it's an RPG in Japanese. That's why. Okay, it was good study for me because that's why I was in Japan. I was there to study Japanese. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I connected those dots. And honestly, why do I keep making that same mistake? The DS Chrono Trigger is pretty good from a translation perspective. Yeah, one of the extra dungeons is god awful. The other extra dungeon's actually really cool, I think. But purely from a translation perspective, the DS one is so much better. They did good. They did real good. Katakana, yeah. Luminaire being shining goo. Right. It's not original. But you got things like Skull Smash, which is absolutely what it was supposed to be. The soup makes your skull feel like it's being smashed in the morning because it's not soup. Granted, that was less Woolsey and more Nintendo censorship of the time. Oh, biscuits! Come on. What? Three teleports? Good lord, that was awful. I don't even want to look at what Zallard's was. New game plus normal. 1140. 12. I'm a full 14 seconds behind him. Whatever. It puts me up there on the board. That's what we need is more runs. Also, well, somebody, I'm assuming it was Allard, because Allard and I are the only two who touched the modifications of the speedrun.com page, changed the background, and I like it. Patau had originally put in the one that used to be there, and it was kind of funny because it was the Great Fox, which, is this ship in this game. Um, I thought that it was amusing for that reason and kept it, but I'm okay with this thing that Zallard changed it to. At least I assume it was Zallard. I don't actually know if there is an edit history where I can go back and see if he did it. Um, I don't think it can manipulate teleports. As far as I'm aware, I think that it is on a global timer. His teleports are. Toko, for a while, around the time that original, wow, this version was released, and definitely on beta, thought that you could manipulate his teleports by throwing a bomb at the beginning, and I don't think that's true. Um, I think it's a global timer, but I would need to research it. And I don't really know how to research it, moreover. I guess it has built-in save states, so I could like save going into the fight and then seeing if it's the same each time. That would be a easy way to research it. Here, let me answer my own question. Right now, I just want to do runs. I'll worry about that some other time. I am going to make some 100% splits. So let's save these. Oh no! Well, I screwed that up. Anyway, I'm making some 100% splits here. I see your link and I will click on it after I'm done with making my splits here.